Happy Thursday! Well, I know it's fall, but it is coming up on my favorite season, the holiday Christmas season. And so we are going to make a fun card today using the new pine tree trimmings. Super cute Christmas tree set. I've got my Christmas earring bling on and I am ready to create with you today. So let's get started. Okay, so here is our bundle. This is the pine tree trimmings bundle. It has these beautiful Christmas tree images, some dies that go with it. And when I first saw this pine tree right here is what sold me, along with the fun that I'm going to show you today that you can also get with this set. So let me show you today's card first. But before we do that, here is my blog, stampinqueenbee.com. And if you want the measurements, the parts and pieces, the instructions, step-by-step instructions, I offer a free weekly PDF tutorial. And you can get that by signing up for my free weekly Buzz Bulletin. It's my email newsletter. And I send that out each week with that free printable PDF for you. So here is today's card. Oh, we've got some shaker fun. Isn't that fun? I don't want to make you dizzy, but it is a fun shaker card. And you can see it pops out with this super cute Christmas tree or pine tree design. And so there is that beautiful tree. You can see I've got some sparkle and fun. We've got some fun technique I'm going to share with you on distressing. And then our card opens up to a beautiful inside as well. So let's get started. Let me show you these fun things that go with this set. So they come in a box like this. They are called tree shaker domes. And when you use, so this is how they come in a pack of 10. And when you use this die to cut out, which I'm going to show you when we make today's card, you have these fun domes that make it so easy. These are like, I call them like foolproof shaker cards because you don't have to trim and cut and figure out the window sheet and all that. These shaker domes make it so simple to create shaker cards with these. So this card is a little bit thicker, so I would use this type of card to go along with a package, or if I was sending something in a mailer, or even if I was just handing this to someone. Since it is a bit thicker in dimension, it would probably require a little bit more postage if I was only sending this. But I think these cards are so fun. My son calls them maraca cards because they shake and they have that fun sound, right? So let's get started with all of our fun. So let me bring in a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. And at least once a month I get questions. Well, I get the questions more than once a month, but at least once a month I like to show you how to cut card bases because it's a question I get asked a lot. So this card base, you'll notice, actually opens from right to left, right? And so we've got kind of this horizontal card, but it opens on this left side, right? So to do this is actually a half sheet. So what I love about our standard card bases is that there we go, let's get all this in frame so you can see this. But one piece of cardstock, our 8.5 by 11 cardstock, right, becomes 2 full card bases. So for this one, normally we score it on the short side and then we cut it on the long side, right? And that would create our cards that open this way or open like a typical card, right? But this one is just a slight bit different, but we still use the same measurements. So we would cut this, or score it, I'm sorry, we would score this on the long side, so the 11-inch side, and we would score this at 5.5. There we go, right? And then we would turn to the short side, and at 4 1/4, 4¼ we would cut down the middle. And so that gives us 2 of those card bases. Now this is the same if we want the card to open tall ways, right? I just flipped it for this card, and we're just gonna open it from right to left. I suppose you could do even the opposite, right? If you want it to be real fun. Okay, so that is our quick card base cutting tips. And so you can see I have 2 equal parts there that create 2 card bases with this. So super easy, super fun. So I'm gonna bring in my bone folder here. We're just gonna fold this right in half, and I'm gonna burnish, just crease that right along there so that my card really lays flat, okay? And so now we've got our card that will open, just like this one. It will open, if I can grab it there, right? And so let's start putting some of these pieces together, some of these kind of easy pieces. So the first thing we're going to use is some of this beautiful DSP. Do you see all that sparkle with that gold foiling? So this is actually our Season of Elegance designer series paper, and it's got all this beautiful gold foiling with mossy meadow and cherry cobbler. We've got basic beige in there, some pretty blues. You can see the back sides are more subtle, and then the front side have that beautiful gold foil. So we're going to use actually 2 of those pieces today. So the first one we're going to use as this background piece. So we're just going to go ahead and add some liquid glue here and put that right on the front. If you love today's card and you would love not only the printed tutorial sent to you in the snail mail, but if you would love the pre-cut pieces to make this, to get your project kit for this week, I do have what I offer every week, which is a freebie from me. So with your $50 or more order this week, you will actually get all of the pre-cut card pieces for today's card, and you will get enough to make 3 of those. So you get all the pieces. So you get 3 of these already cut, 3 bases already cut, so that you can easily make these. You'll even get 3 of those fun shaker parts. So, okay, we've got that on. The next thing we're gonna do, and this is kind of the big basis of our card here, right, is I've got a piece of crumb cake. So then I will take my die, here's my dies here, it's this fun little set, and I am actually going to die cut this tree out of the center of my crumb cake here. And so with the power of video, I have already done that for us, and so you can see we just put the die on, ran it through our machine right in the middle, and there we have that piece that just comes right out. So this piece we can use on a different card, right? It's just a beautiful piece. If you wanted to stamp any of those trees in our stamp set, you could use them right on this die cut. So you almost get 2 cards out of 1, right? So we'll just save that piece for later, and I'll just move these to the side. Let me put my die back on there. Okay. So we've got this piece here. Now we're going to do some stamping. So let me just kind of move all of this to the side. I've got my Mossy Meadow ink pad, and we are going to be using this pine tree. Now this is what sold me on this set. This and the shaker domes, that totally is what sold me. So that is the one we're going to use today. So I already have this inked up here. So I've got my Mossy Meadow ink pad. We're going to ink up the entire tree in Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to show you a little trick with, make sure I just get that good on there. So we've got Mossy Meadow all over that. Now I'm going to bring in my early espresso because we want our tree trunk to be a little brown, right? So I'm going to use my sponge dauber. I've got my early espresso sponge dauber here. And I'm just going to take that and just go over that little tree stump at the bottom. So you can see, there you go, that is on there. Now I'm just going to line this up so this bottom left pine leaf here is what I'm going to put kind of just tucked under where I die cut that tree. So the middle tree is meant to be a little bit higher up in the middle, and the two that we're going to stamp on each side are meant to be a tad lower. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm just making sure all that ink transfers real good, and there I have my tree. And then we're going to do that again. So we're going to ink up our whole tree in Mossy Meadow. Grab our sponge dauber with our early espresso, and we'll just dab in our tree trunk there, and we will just stamp this. And again, this leaf here is going to go just under our die cut tree. Make sure our ink transfers good, and there we have our second tree. So we've got two trees and our tree in the middle. Okay, so let me close these ink pads up so I don't stick anything in there, right? Now I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella, and so if you know me, you know I am such a fan of Wink of Stella, and I love to do something called speckling. So we can grab one of our just a sheet of paper right underneath, and so I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of this into the cap, and I'm just going to add some Wink of Stella glitz and sparkle all over my piece. So you can see, do you see all that beautiful speckling? So as this dries, it's going to really sparkle and shine. Let's see if I can get this to pick it up. There it goes. Do you see that shine? Oh, I love it. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry here just a second. And while that is drying, we're gonna grab our fun shaker part. So our tree shaker. So we've got our tree shaker here. These come in this box here. It comes in a pack of 10. And what I really love is how these already have, do you see this white around here? They already have the adhesive and everything on there. So let me just flip this just in case that is a little wet. So we're gonna take our tree and we're gonna put it through, and it's gonna fit right through that die cut hole. See, it's meant to fit right together. Do you see how easy that was? That's why I said these are like easy peasy shaker cards. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the front part, so the part that's going to end up sticking to our paper here. So no having to cut foam or anything for these shaker cards. So do you see I got this adhesive that I'm gonna take off just the front side first. We're gonna grab our paper, and what I like to do is kind of shove it through. There we go, and then push it down everywhere. That way you know it's all lined up. And then I can, from the other side, kind of push gently just to make sure it's really flush with our card there. So do you see it's all stuck down? So I didn't have to cut tape, I didn't have to cut foam, I didn't have to worry about window sheets or anything. These domes are like the best invention ever, for sure. Okay, so now we will flip this over, and we've got to add some bling to the inside of our tree. So you can see, to make it shakery, we have these beautiful gold stars. So this is one of our new gold shaker stars fun bits, right? Shaker bits. And so we're just going to flip this over and shake some right inside. And so you don't want it to be too full because you want it to be able to shake, 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 right? So I'm just gonna fill it kind of like to maybe that first bit of the tree right there, right? That first, you know, we've got 1, 2, 3, that first kind of part. So that looks good. Let me put this lid on, because have you ever knocked one of these over? Oh my, right? So we've got those inside. Now I've got another piece of that DSP. It's from the same pack, that Season of Elegance paper. And so we've got the gold and green side that we'll be using for this part. And now we've got adhesive already on here. How easy is this? See, we just peel that right off. They've already done it for us. And we're just gonna take this piece of DSP and put it right over that tree. And I just kind of like to press it onto my table. And then there is, you can see that DSP behind there, right? You can see our shaker bits. We can shake, rattle, and roll with that, and it is our completed element. How easy was that, right? I love that they make these domes because it takes all of the guesswork out of our shaker cards. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna distress it a bit. So I love to use the tearing technique, and so once this is all done, we're gonna take the top and bottom of this, and I'm just using my thumbs so I don't really take a lot off, and I'm just kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth along the whole top edge there. And now I'm going to do the same thing right along the bottom edge. And if you get a little bit of your stamped tree trunks trimmed off in making this look rustic, well, that's okay. So there we go. So we've got those two top and bottoms ends kind of rustified, right? Now I'm going to take my paper snips or your scissors, and I'm just going to rough this up the whole edge just a little bit more, just so that it really pops and you can see it. And then I'm going to do along the bottom as well. Just kind of following your tear line and roughing that up. So now you can really see it, right? So then I'm going to grab my early espresso ink again and that same sponge dauber that I used to do the bottom of our tree trunks. And I'm going to just dab this, holding my paper, and give our edge just a little bit of daubing. Just add a little bit of color to that because it really just kind of gives it that really rustic look and then pops up that edge a bit. Do you see that? And then we'll do the same thing right along the bottom. Just keep on right along that bottom. If you want to see a little bit more, just kind of get a little more ink and go just slightly towards the front just to color that just even a little more. And then I just kind of look at it against my white table here and see, is it even? Do I want to add any more? I think I missed a little bit up here, so I'll just go ahead and add maybe just slightly there. If you kind of rub it, it will darken the color even more. See that? So let's just finish that along that top. And because we tore it first and then did this sponge daubing, it really, the daubing kind of sticks to those fibers and really helps that to pop out. Okay, so we are done with that part. And now we're gonna take our piece here and we're gonna pop it up with some dimensionals. So let me grab my little bowl here. So my trick when I am using lots of dimensionals is I peel off the backings into my little bowl here because then they aren't all over my table, right? I always find them, those backings. Plus, then I can just take my bowl when I'm done and dump it into my bin. So, the trash bin, right? So I'm just putting these all along. This is a thick card, right? So we probably aren't gonna mail this type of card. We'll put it with a package or hand deliver it. And so we can add lots of dimension to this because it's already one of those thicker cards with that dome. Okay, so that looks good. See how my bowl saves me because now I don't have dimensional backings all over my table. So then I'm just gonna kind of center this top and bottom and line up my edge here with that DSP and stick that down. Isn't it beautiful already? So fun. Shaker cards are just so fun. So fun. Okay, then I took some more of that DSP, and you see there's this basic beige color. So I took some of that and I used my dies, and there is a star, and I die cut a couple of those stars out of that DSP. I stuck these already for us on mini glue dots. I do that a lot to prepare, just even in my own crafting, right? Because then they're ready to go. And so I'm just gonna stick these right on the tops of the two trees on each side. So we have those. Isn't that fun out of the paper? Because you really just see all the sides of it, the shine of it. So pretty. Okay, now we're gonna use some of this beautiful new twine. So this is black and white gold baker's twine. So it comes in 2 rolls, and we're gonna use the white one today, and we're gonna tie a double bow. Now to save us time, I did that. And so I used that and I tied us just a double bow, and again, attach that to a mini glue dot. This is becoming quickly one of my favorite twines, favorite things to use, because I really love how it looks. And we're just gonna stick this in the center on top of our center tree there. And the front of our card is done. Isn't that so fun? Just wanna sit and shake these cards, right? Well, now let's do the inside of our card. So I've got myself a piece of basic beige for our inside, because that matches this DSP here, right? So it's a little more subtle than like a stark white. And we're gonna use the sentiment in our stamp set, sending Christmas wishes. And we're gonna use our mossy meadow again. We're just gonna stamp this right in the center. So we'll ink that up and stamp that down right in the center there, sending Christmas wishes. I've got another little strip of that DSP, that green DSP that we put behind our tree shaker. And this is a great way to use scraps and put just a little layer of this inside of our card. So I'm gonna put this on this left side here. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and attach this right on the inside. Now you know that if you watch me at all, you know I love bling, I love sparkle, shiny things, I love it. The more, the better. So we're gonna add a little bit of that sparkle inside of our card with these gold shakers. So those are the same ones that we put on our inside of our card. A couple just popped out there. So you see I have one of these solid stars here. And so what I did is I just took a little tiny, less than a dot of our glue and my little star here. And we're just gonna set that right below the word wishes. So it just gives, sending Christmas wishes, it just gives a little sparkle to the inside of our card there. And then we are done. So we've got sending Christmas wishes. We've got our beautiful shaker there. This is such a fun set. Pine tree trimmings with those fun dies is a great seasonal set, right? And it could be anything. 'Tis the season, from our house to yours. Oh, Christmas tree, that's fun sentiment too. Okay, so let me flip the camera around and say again, thank you so much for watching me, liking this video, sharing it with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on my free weekly tutorial. I love sending that to you guys. I can't wait to see what you do with this template, with this set. I love when you send me your ideas because when you have an idea, I have an idea, and we put those together, well, now we have two ideas, and